everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Paige and today I want to talk about African pygmy hedgehogs. Just like the same fashion I did in my last two videos, I want to tell you guys 3 things that I think are really important to consider if you're thinking about buying an African pygmy hedgehog. They are not native to places like the UK or North America, but we do keep them as pets. Let's start with the first thing that I think is important to remember about hedgehogs. African pygmy hedgehogs. Hedgehogs in general, the ones that you'll be keeping as pets. The first thing is that these guys are nocturnal animals. Just like hamsters, these guys sleep during the day and they will be up and about and doing all of their exercise and exploration at night. If you work a 9-to-5 job, you work during the day and you're home at night, this guy should be a really great animal for you because you don't need to worry about them during the day. They do all their activities at night. It depends. When they wake up will depend on them and you as well. If you keep them in a room that is well lit for a good number of hours in the evening, then you may not see them until around midnight or the early hours of the morning, and especially in winter as well, the hours can change. But these guys can be really great pets for somebody who is busy during the day and has most of their free time or all of their free time in the evening and the nights. That's when they're the most active. You don't really want to wake a grumpy hedgehog up in the middle of the day. I would show you guys my hedgehog. I'll probably put maybe a picture or something up, but it is 3:40 p.m. here right now. And it is way too early for him to be up. And every time I wake him up, he poops. And I don't want to clean poop at the moment. So the second thing that I think is important to remember with these guys is, obviously, it's very, very clear when you look at them, that these guys are spiky. They are covered in quills, spines, sharp things that hurt when you touch. They're covered in them. And this is a defense mechanism. In the wild, obviously, these would deter predators from chowing down on them, and I'd say it works pretty well. So it does hurt when you go to pick them up. I know when I was looking at videos before I got mine, I had the thought in my head, oh, it doesn't look too bad, that won't hurt. I was wrong, it does. And when they get defensive or they do get a little bit frightened or scared of something, they do ball up and curl and they kind of shoot the spikes or their spines or quills. They shoot them out. They kind of make them stand up. And that motion, if your hand is in the way, that will hurt. It'll give you a little prick. I've never been pricked bad enough to draw blood. And my hedgehog actually has a pretty good temperament. He doesn't really get all that grumpy unless I wake him up, which I sometimes do. That is definitely something to consider if you are looking for an animal that you can handle a lot, you can sit with, you can spend time with, quality like that. The hedgehog probably isn't going to be for you. They're also not that social with each other. It's best to keep one by themselves. And with you as well, they probably will never really crave your attention. They'll never seek out interaction with you, and they'll never probably get a lot of satisfaction from sitting with you like other animals might. If you're looking for a companion pet that will really be looking forward to coming home and spending time with you, then a hedgehog is not for you. I also don't recommend these guys for kids either, for that exact reason. They're not going to be thrilled to interact with the child, and they're going to be really hard for the child to handle, especially if they are slightly younger. Everything about them really is a deterrent for people who don't have a vested interest in the animal in the first place, or aren't really interested in something that is slightly more exotic and slightly more... They aren't really high maintenance pets, but they do take a lot more... I won't really even say work, but they are very different from your standard fluffy animal that you can get, like rabbits, guinea pigs, chinchillas even, dagoos. They are vastly different from that. Not in terms of upkeep, maintenance, or personality, or really care, just in the actual animal itself, the way that they are built, the way that you hold them, they are different. So they really probably will not make a great pet for kids or someone who is just looking for a little cuddly companion to spend their time with. you'd be best going with a different type of animal. The third and final thing that I think is really important to remember with these guys is their environment is actually important. These guys originally come from very hot climate countries. Asia, Africa, New Zealand, places like that, places where the climates, compared to the UK and some states in the US, other European countries, it's much warmer in comparison. So some places or some people will tell you that a heat mat or a heat lamp is an optional thing to get for your hedgehog, but it's actually a very important thing to have. It's a really good idea to be able to regulate the temperature in your hedgehog's enclosure to make sure that they're getting the right temperature, right environment that is good for them. It doesn't need to be blisteringly hot. It's not the same kind of upkeep that you would give a reptile. You don't have to watch humidity levels or make sure that the temperature is between very specific points. You just need to make sure that the enclosure is warm, because they do really enjoy warm environments. If you do live somewhere where it's colder, like the UK or colder states, then it may very well be necessary for you to get a heat lamp or a heat mat. We have a heat mat in ours that can be controlled by a dial. It's on pretty much all the time, especially in winter. It's very cold here right now, pretty much all the time. And my room is located in the back of the house, so it gets even colder in here, and he does sleep in here. It's really important for us to provide a heat source for him, otherwise he will get very cold, and a cold hedgehog can very easily get sick. It's a very bad idea to keep your hedgehog cold. To take that extra precaution and get a heat mat or a heat lamp. Heat lamps are probably easier to monitor and maintain. You don't have the risk of anything malfunctioning, and the hedgehog won't directly be on the heat source if it's a heat lamp. If it's a heat mat, your hedgehog may very well come into direct contact with it, and if it malfunctions and it gets really hot or short circuits, it breaks, something bad could happen. Heat lamps are probably the safer choice if that's what you would like to go for. It's also important to keep the hedgehog's cage in a darker side of the house, or in a dark room, or just in a dark place in general. As I said, these guys are nocturnal, so they are used to darkness. They don't come out when it's light. They don't like the light. They enjoy a darker area. So if you keep them in a dark place, it's easier to, not easier to, but you'll see a pattern in their wake and sleep cycle. Or you'll most likely see them waking up at these same exact times during the day. But if your light fluctuates, then it will be different each day, and the hedgehog will have a more disturbed sleep pattern. So keep the cage in a dark area of the room, or a dark room in general, provide heat, and you're pretty much good to go. These guys are considered exotic pets, but I don't think that they're high maintenance pets at all. They're not. It's really easy to take care of an African pygmy hedgehog. They're very low maintenance. They don't require a lot of attention because they won't seek your attention out. They won't crave interaction with you or anyone else. They just want to run on their little wheel, exercise at night, and eat. They're gonna be pretty happy if you provide them with all of that. This video was not intended to be an all-rounded care guide like the other two videos that I've done like this. They are not care guides. They do not include all the information that you do need to know. But this does provide, or this does include, information that I think is really important to know before you go out and get your hedgehog. Presumably you do a lot more research beforehand anyway. You have a good idea, but hopefully this provides a little bit of information on the really vital things. And just like in the last two videos, disclaimer, I'm not an expert, I'm not a vet. I have owned my hedgehog actually coming up for 1 year. So, thank you so much for tuning into this video. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a really great day and a great week, and I will see you guys in my next video. Goodbye, guys.